your group signed up soon because they will fill up fast. It's the most fun day in golf anywhere. Stop. With activations, tastings around the course, and the infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3 6th hole, where all the fan hosts will be hanging out during Sprague. Danny and Patrick, myself, Isaac and Suk will be posted up, heckling and admiring your shots. Head to 1051thefan.com and click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for information and to sign up today. The Fan Golf Classic is presented by Toyota. It's also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Mastro Dobel Tequila, Your Neighborhood Restaurant Group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, A Legal, Mezcal, and Window Nation. Let's do some In Case You Missed It. In case you missed it, the NBA announced 170 million viewers this season. That is an 86% increase. They are crediting the new $76 billion TV deal. But what they aren't telling you is that Nielsen changed their math in September to make the numbers look bigger. It's a scam. Changing a foot to 10 inches doesn't make you taller. Just because the new math says you're 6'4" doesn't change the fact that you're still 5'10" and you're looking way up at your stupid brothers who got all the good genes. You're Danny DeVito from Twins. You think it's hilarious that, oh, look, Luke has to get on a milk crate to get his nice whiskey glasses down from the top shelf. Hey, dummy, why do you buy such a tall house when you're such a run? Listen, 5'10" is average. You guys are the freaks. Not me. Are your parents going to love you more just because you changed the math? They're not, okay? Anyway, good. I agree. Anyway, good for you, Adam Silver, is what I meant to say. Sorry, I blacked out there for a minute. What did I say? In case you missed it, Amazon Prime Video had a total meltdown during the final minutes of the Hornets Heat overtime game last night. The feed was cut to black for almost a full 2 minutes right as LaMelo Ball was icing the game. Fans were furious, especially LeBron James, who hopped on social media to blast Amazon for the blackout. Honestly, Bron, my feed was fine. Maybe instead of complaining about the blackout, you should stop borrowing your mom's login and actually pay for your own Prime account, dude. I don't know where it was blacked out, but mine seemed to work just fine. So whatever I'm seeing on the internets today, I don't get it. In case you missed it, Astros pitcher Tatsuya Imai, am I saying that right? Imai, struggling with a 7.27 ERA, was placed on the injured list for arm fatigue and controversially blamed his struggles on adjusting to the American lifestyle. Meanwhile, teammates were like, dude, quiet. You trying to get the Astros clubhouse raided by ICE, dude? Shh. If Trump hears that, here they come, man. Shh. Easy. Some of us are here on visas, dude. In case you missed it, Shohei Ohtani takes his perfect 0.00 ERA to the mound tonight against the Mets on ESPN. Meanwhile, the Mets are currently on a 7-game losing streak and haven't scored a run in a week. I don't know if it's an official rule or if it's an unwritten rule, but the Mets might want to look into, is it possible to forfeit? Is that something that they're able to do? Just, can we skip it? Ohtani is throwing 7 different pitches this year. The Mets have 7 runs this year. Maybe we just, is that... If you didn't hear, following the 2-1 loss to the Dodgers, Mets owner Stephen Cohen publicly expressed optimism for his struggling team, pointing out specific positive individual performances and reminding fans that the Mets can't collapse in September if they don't have a playoff run going at least most of the summer. There's really nothing to cry about. So they're going to get a lot better before the bottom falls completely out. And finally, in case you missed it, Dodgers closer Edwin Diaz was held back from pitching against his former team, the Mets, because he's reportedly, quote, didn't feel right. Man, the Dodgers better hope that this is some sort of injury, because if it's Dodgers players realizing that it's fundamentally unfair to take a mountain of cash to play for a hand-picked all-star team while the rest of the league rolls out a JV roster, that could be a real problem. If having a conscience and believing in fairness is contagious, this team is done. There's no way they threw Poos. Doesn't feel right. I just can't take all this money to go. Those guys are trying out there. Look who they're playing with.
Maybe he's just frustrated because he doesn't have the best closing intro anymore.
Yeah, well, that might be true. It's hard to say. There's fans of all of these different intros. But yes, we will go with that. Thank you to our wonderful studio audience. Hey, we've got a lot to get to, man. We've got what do we have here? Oh, we've got players moonlighting as paparazzi. We have Wisdom coming to the Seattle Mariners, and we have flowers that smell like rotting flesh. It's a very action-packed edition of the Daily Buzz. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan's YouTube.
Well, not the start to the Vetter Cup the Seattle Mariners were hoping for, but hey, good for the Potters. They get a 4-1 win yesterday over the reigning Vetter Cup champion Seattle Mariners. Not a great outing from the hitting standpoint. You go out there and put up one run. Not going to look good. It's, the scary thing is you get to the end of these games, and here comes Mason freaking Miller. Dude, that guy is absolutely ridiculous. The funny thing is the Mariners did have the opportunity because in the 8th, they've got Cal, Julio, Josh Naylor, Julio coming up, and you go, all right, here's the big opportunity. Julio gets on. Naylor hits into a double play, and then Mason Miller gets 5, 6, 7 in the lineup and gets to take them down. Disappointing, but hey, plenty more games to play. Still 5 left in the series. We will see what happens.
The Buzz.
How many times, how many times did the Mariners score yesterday?
Uno. That's what I was looking for. Thank you very much, sir. Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, Luke Raley having a nice start to his season, hitting .296 to start things off. He's got a 9.11 OPS. That's right, 9.11. 3 home runs in 16 games. Why, do you ask, is Luke Raley playing so well? Well, first, he's healthy. That's the main thing. We talked about that a lot going into the season, but he credits yoga for what's going on. My wife just got me starting Tai Chi. We'll see if that makes me a better radio host. We'll keep an eye on that.
The Buzz.
The other thing, if you're a big Mariners fan, this is kind of interesting. Julio Rodriguez has taken up the new hobby of filming behind-the-scene moments. I don't know if you know this. Do you know what Randy Johnson does as a hobby and like minor profession now?
Yeah, he's a photographer for the NFL.
He's a photographer. I don't know that he's working for the Randy Johnson.
Is it Griffey who's the NFL?
Griffey
is the NFL
is doing sports. He went and was embedded with the World Baseball Classic as well. So Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson, 2 all-time Seattle Mariners, have taken up photography. Now you've got J-Rod going around with an old-school camcorder. He wants to stay away from technology, so he's using his way. So that might mean you'll get some cool behind-the-scenes footage from your Seattle Mariners at some time in the future. If you're a fan like I am, it seems pretty cool.
The Buzz.
Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, I think this is my last one. I know I get excited about this. Have you heard the name Patrick Wisdom before, young Casey Smith?
Say that?
Patrick Wisdom.
Have not heard that.
Okay, Patrick Wisdom had some decent years with the Cubs, a couple 20-home run seasons with the Northsiders in Chicago. He was on a minor league deal. The 34-year-old off to a pretty nice start in AAA, hit 9 home runs in 13 games. He's been called up to the show. Wisdom is going up to replace Rob Refsnyder, who's going on the paternity list. So here's an opportunity for somebody that has had some success in the major leagues. Played in Korea last year, I believe, was signed to a minor league deal with the M's and absolutely ripping the cover off the ball to start 62 plate appearances, a 1.145 OPS in Tacoma for the Rainiers. Get an opportunity, so bring up another big power bat, a right-hander to replace Refsnyder. So here's your opportunity, kid, if you want to go out there and do something. Well, 34. I can call him a kid. Not a kid to you, obviously, but something to keep an eye on with the Mariners lineup.
The Buzz.
I know we already talked about it to start off the show, but a 114-110 victory for the Blazers over the Suns last night puts them into the playoffs as the 7 seed. This is a roster that was not healthy all year. You did not see some of the lineup combinations that were played in the game last night. New ownership is in place. You've still got an interim head coach in Tiago Splitter. He's out there. Felt like he pulled all the right strings last night.
Trying to make that resume look good.
Everybody that had an opportunity to contribute, whether they were asked to do a ton or asked to do very little or just maintain the defensive intensity, don't turn the ball over. Everybody chipped in last night. Playing 10 guys deep in a postseason game is not something you see a ton of in the NBA. But the Blazers did it more importantly. I think they found out that their star is truly a guy that can be depended on in the biggest games and in the biggest moments of the game. Who's getting the ball? What's going to happen? Is Denny the Oddbeer going to try to take it to the rim? Of course he is. Everybody knows that. Here's the question. Can you stop him? Answer, no.
Give the ball to Turbo.
No, you cannot stop him. That is the correct answer.
The Buzz.
It may be one of the dumber stats in sports and something that we overvalue, but hey, if you get to third place on any list in Major League Baseball, I will say congratulations to you. Kenley Jansen is now the third all-time on the saves list in Major League Baseball. Locked down his 479th career save to pass Lee Smith, and now sits at number 3rd. Tigers get a 2-1 victory over the Royals yesterday.
The Buzz.
Speaking of the Detroit Tigers, they are shelling out quite a bit of money to a very young shortstop. This might be a familiar thing that you've heard recently in Major League Baseball. Young shortstop gets paid a ton of money. Kevin McGonigal getting 8-year, $150 million extension. He is 21 years old and has played in the major leagues for a couple weeks.
So you're saying that McGonigal is going to be with House Detroit for a while?
I see what you did there. Look at you with your Harry Potter references. You were born after all the books were released.
Oh, I still read
multiple movies. I know, but you were raised in a world that Harry Potter already inhabited, where it was introduced to me. Boy, I think I was out of high school. I might have still been in high school, but either way, it's just shows the age gap. But Harry Potter, he connects all of us. Thank you, Mr. Potter.
The Buzz.
All right, what else do we need to get to here? Commanders have new uniforms. They're whatever. It's the W on the old Redskins. Am I allowed to say that? Can I say that? Yes, the old Redskins uniforms. They won 3 Super Bowls in those. They're putting the W on the side of it. The other one, the black ones, explain this to me. You are now the Commanders. Why do we have a spear on our alternate uniforms? That I cannot figure out. If you haven't seen them, go take a look at them. The old school Washington football look looks great. The black ones, dude, you drop that spear off the side of it. I think they look pretty good. Gives me a Sun Devils vibe, which I do not mind. But when Arizona State goes all black, it kind of hints at that. They both look good, but I just don't understand. I guess it's a tip of the cap to, hey, we used to be racist.
The burgundy does look good.
It looks great. It was always a good look, except for the little seal that they had on the side of it, and the name they attached to it was a little problematic, but it is what it is. Very quickly, Cardinals hosting a visit for Ty Simpson. Steelers hosting a visit for Drew Aller. Did that get you excited at all?
No!
And finally, visitors are flocking to South Hadley, Massachusetts to visit a flower named Pangy. Pangy is a corpse flower, one of the most famous and largest in the world. The plant is famous because it reeks of rotten eggs, dirty diapers, and rotting flesh when it blooms. That is a way to lure in flies to pollinate the plant. People love it. People get excited about it. But hey, we need to get to the subtext press conference audio. We will do it next. You're listening to Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan. Let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk.
This sports update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for a DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on The Fan, it's Jackie Robinson Day.
It is Jackie Robinson Day.
It is the 79th anniversary of the day that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and our teams are doing some great things to commemorate them. The New York Yankees, they're hosting the New York Urban League's Nonprofit Leadership Summit at Yankee Stadium. The summit will feature funders, corporate partners, industry experts, and elected officials from across New York to explore the best practices in artificial intelligence, workforce development, storytelling, fundraising, and advocacy, advancing the leadership, equity, and impact again, reflecting on Jackie Robinson's leadership.
Jackie Robinson's impact to the sport and beyond the sport, I think, is what's important with that right there. All season, the Mariners are wearing the Steelheads uniforms every Sunday, so there's that. This is one of those days where baseball gets it more right maybe than any other sport in honoring one of their heroes, one of the legends of the sport, and again, what it did beyond that. Everybody in the league wearing number 42 today has nothing to do with Mariano Rivera, so don't even bring it up.
Beyond the jerseys, your Seattle Mariners, they also launched the Steelheads Community Fund with a $500,000 commitment in support of local black-led baseball and softball organizations and community initiatives.
It's fantastic. It's great. Great. Love it.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of dirt and spray.
I didn't see it, but I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. I think it's a stupid play. It's a dangerous play. Obviously, our best player is out. I'm not making an excuse. The Hornets played great, and they made those plays down the stretch. We had our opportunities to win. I just that's a shame. He should be penalized for that. I don't think that belongs in the game. Tripping guys. shenanigans. And, Curtis was there. It's his responsibility to see that. And if it's not his responsibility, then Zach's got to see it. If, somebody has got to see that. And that, he should have been thrown out of the game, for that. I don't know him from, anyone. There's no place in the game for that. Obviously, it took Bam out of the game. But that did not deter us. If there's anything about our locker room, we just, the guys just got into the competition. And like I said, we had our opportunities to win this game. It felt like we were going to win the game, going down the stretch in regulation. Like I said, one stop out of those last 3 possessions would have sealed it.
That was head coach of the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, talking about the LaMelo Ball Bam Adebayo incident. What do you think the punishment for LaMelo should be?
It's difficult to say because I think we always overreact. If that play happens and Bam hops up, there's no punishment. The fact that he left the game makes you feel like there should be a more severe punishment. It's hard to say that something like that is premeditated. I mentioned it earlier that there is a video of him doing the same thing before. Whether he's flailing to intentionally grab somebody's leg or not, you gotta figure out a way to deter him from doing that. But the NBA is also out there for entertainment purposes, so suspending him moving forward as we go into the postseason, I think what you're going to end up seeing is if there is any suspension, it will be at the beginning of next season. More likely it's just going to be a fine.
Yeah, I'd bank on it being a fine more than anything because if you suspend him, the playoff implications, again, the look at that, not great.
No, it'll be a fine. It'll be a number that we'll go, oh, and then he goes, man, whatever.
Will it be more or less than what the teams were fined for tanking?
Ooh, it'll probably barely be 6 figures.
How's Craig?
He's doing good. Just as a precaution right now, he is just going to get scanned and we'll have more information tomorrow.
How scary is that when that happens?
Yeah. I mean, we sit there every game and we're all kind of vulnerable to it. And, when it happens, everyone feels for him.
Do you feel like the team maybe had a little bit of extra energy after that play?
I think that whole situation tonight, one, it speaks to the competitive character of the players and and it really speaks to what Albie's been leading here and kind of modeling in terms of the culture we want to create.
What's that say about Albie's toughness? Just that he didn't show back up in the dugout and came back out there after the win?
Yeah, if it were up to him, he would finish the game and he would be sitting right here. So, not surprised to see him.
Did you try to talk him out of it? Of coming back to the dugout?
No.
Did he say why he wanted to go back to the dugout?
He's a competitor. I think you want to finish the game.
That was Orioles bench coach Donnie Ecker talking about Craig Albernaz.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see this?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Albernaz happened to wear a 70-mile-an-hour foul tip or foul ball.
Only 70 miles an hour?
Off of the chin.
Yeah.
Resulting in 7 fractures in his cheek.
Yeah, it's tough to say there's a good spot to get hit on the face. That is the jaw is not a great spot to get hit, but better that it wasn't a injury that could be long lasting. It sounds like he might have to have his jaw wired shut, and
he's already back at work.
I don't know what else you're gonna do. I mean, I've had some facial injuries, not nearly this severe, but it's one of those things where I think the immediate shock, you always think that any shot to the head is going to be just you're done, and it's not always the case. There's more stuff to break the lower you go on the face, and so the 7 fractures or whatever it is in the jaw. But the guy's a professional baseballman. Like getting in harm's way is one of those things. It's not a perfect comparison, but right now I think we've mentioned enough times on here, I'm coaching lacrosse, and the natural instinct for all of these kids when you throw a ball, not even hard as a baseball, at them is to dive out of the way, get out of the way of the baseball. We all had to learn it playing baseball growing up. I was on the field when one of my teammates got an orbital fracture. We were playing the little relay game and somebody threw it to the wrong line and got it. There was a kid that I played high school baseball with that took a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to the chin, lost some teeth. And
My
the whole
own
thing.
brother hit a ball off of a kid's cheek.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember running around baseball tryouts my junior year, and I took one off the lower eye socket, and I could see the swelling on my face bounce as I ran around the bases. You go out there and you take it, but I mean, this is probably the worst injury that he's had from taking a shot with a baseball. But he's been back out there to play or to coach or to get back up. It's ingrained in baseball. I know we don't think of it as the toughest sport. I got hurt more playing baseball than I did playing football or basketball. I got stitches on my birthday. I got, hit by plenty of pitches.
Dislocated fingers.
Yeah. All the things that happen in sport. Baseball, you run into more very hard objects or immovable objects. You ever try to catch something over a fence and see the amount of scrapes and tears you get on your midsection as you kind of flip over a cyclone fence playing American Legion when you're 14? It's a dumb sport, but I love it. And the guys are a lot tougher than we give them credit for.
It doesn't happen overnight. If I told them, you can't think just because you sign the #1 portal class and you come in here that, you're going to national championship. It doesn't work that way, and study time, it doesn't work that way. It didn't work that way last year with the #1 class. So when I say there's a lot of work to do, that's not talking about years, that's not buying time, it's none of that. It's just saying there's a lot of work to do when you come into a program and you've got to change a lot of things when you take over, and not just offensively, but the whole culture of a program takes some time. And as you get guys, it's the middle of spring. We don't play a game, luckily, today. But on the other side of things, I would say our defense, is doing a great job.
That was brand new LSU head coach Lane Kiffin ahead of spring practice. Is he starting to feel the pressure from the outside noise at LSU? Or is this Lane Kiffin just going, guys, quit going at me, it's spring?
I don't know. Lane Kiffin just has a stench about him anyways. I mean, that whole handling of the departure from Ole Miss to LSU in the middle of a playoff postseason effort, they win a couple games without him. I mean, it's part of the reason that I hate college football. I said that I was kind of off of it. I'm going to watch the postseason, but I kind of did the same thing a little bit with the NBA, knowing that until you get to the postseason, not a lot of it matters. Now, I have an affinity for the Blazers. I don't have a college football team that I grew up rooting for. I rooted for the Cougars a little bit, but they've been, outsourced to
Shout out my Pac-2 brethren.
Yeah, the Pac-2. They've been put into an outpost of the Pac-2 or whatever, the Pac-8.5 or whatever the hell it's going to be this year. And the fact that they're keeping they're keeping the Pac-12 number next to it. You know how many championships they won as a Pac-12 in men's basketball or in football?
1.
0. They won as a Pac-10. USC won plenty as a Pac-10. They won basketball championships as a Pac-10. They won as a Pac-8, but they did not win. 2011, they became the Pac-12, and that was the beginning of the end for the only college football conference that I ever actually cared about. And now you've got the Big 10 with 18. The Big 12 has 30. The SEC is smart enough not to put a number on it. The ACC has 2 West Coast teams and a team from Texas. The whole sport can just pound sand.
We had a timeout there when they went up 11 or something. It was 6-7 minutes left. Told the guys, listen, this is a game of momentum. It's a game of runs. They just had their run. Now we're going to have ours. Just be ready. Just keep pushing. It's going to come. And it did. You got to be patient sometimes in this. It's easy to just go down and kind of like give up. But they didn't. That's why the first thing I said, the resilience of this group to keep fighting, to find ways to score, to find ways to defend, to believe in the scout and in the plan that we had before the game, and they kept doing it, and we found a way to win.
That was Blazers interim coach Thiago Splitter talking about the Blazers' resiliency. I'm kind of all in on Thiago Splitter. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's thinking of these past few games as his resume for next season and a possible contract, but I'm all in on him.
Well, his starting point is not being Chauncey Billups, so that already gives him a big leg up. Former player, he's got some youth to him for as far as a head coach. You don't really have another image of him on the sideline before he took over for the Blazers. There's a part of it where you look at Joe Cronin and Tiago Splitter kind of in the same camp, where a lot of people, well, wait till we get new ownership and get rid of these guys. They're just interim guys or whatever. I'm sorry, who was the one that orchestrated the trade to get Denny Advia over to Portland from Washington?
That'd be Joe Cronin.
It's Joe Cronin, and the way that they have pulled the strings, and this roster is, for better or worse, it is kind of a tough style of play. It is Turbo going nose down, shoulder down, head down, let's get to the rim. It is defensive and rebounding changes that Tiago Splitter is making at the end of it. It is Donovan Clingan not afraid to go head to head with, one of the quote unquote bullies of the league, which I absolutely love. I'll take that flagrant foul every day. I know points mattered at that point in the game, but I will take that every day of the week. The Blazers did not back down. They gave up a 24-5 run or 25-5, whatever it was, and then turned around and finished the game on their own run. And within the game, within the season, figuring it out, I'm kind of I want to say I'm surprised because this is what I thought that they could be at the peak, but I'm with you where what they've built is they're not ready for prime time yet, but they're giving us a glimpse. Now there's a lot of work to do in the offseason, but if they were to keep the same core and the same coaching and administration in place coming into it, plus we get, better food that Tom Dundon approves, what else do you need? The Blazers are everything. Let's go. So, might be recency bias, but I love this team. I love it.
That's all I got for you.
Great. I appreciate that. Hey, we need to get to... I don't know. I don't understand this. There's a big list that came out today. Somehow you and I not on it. That's our one more for the road. We do it next. It is Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. Podcast available 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, Odyssey app. Mr. Lowercase, what are people saying on the fan text line or the YouTube chats we need to address?
Got someone that's saying that we should go watch the Kevin Pillar beaning from a few years ago on the Mets. Fastball right to the nose.
Just any of those beanings. I don't need to watch them more than once. I think I remember seeing that one. But yeah, dude, no. No thanks on the going through the most gruesome beans of all time in the history of baseball. I will pass on that. The one that always scares me is when the shrapnel from the busted bats goes like right at the pitcher. That's all we need, is that sticking in somebody's thigh or something. I don't need it. No thanks. What else?
And then people talking some trash, saying, I need to do something if the Blazers end up beating the Spurs.
Oh, you do? They're talking trash specifically to you?
I guess so.
We got plenty of time. We'll figure something out. We'll workshop it, kids. Keep sending in your ideas, and we'll discuss. Let's do... So I tease that there's a list that we're not on, the 100 most influential people. Listen, this is the first year of Happy Hour.
I didn't make the cut.
You're new to the full-time part of this thing. Here's the question I have for you. Next year, how do we get on the list? As an artist, pioneers, titans, icons, leaders, or innovators? Those are the categories that they have. So some of the innovators include Hillary Knight and Nikki Glaser. Some of the leaders, Pope Leo and Donald Trump. Icons include Hilary Duff and Chloe Kim. Titans, Zoe Saldana and Ben Stiller. How do we get on this list? I mean, we're kind of all of those things. Maybe that's why we're not getting the votes, is because we're a little bit of everything.
I'll start training for my Marvel movie.
We'll figure it out. Thanks to Casey Smith for running this show. Thanks to everybody for listening. Of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. And we could not end this show without thanking Jackie Robinson. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.
That's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life.